Back in late 2010, when it launched its first production electric car, Nissan seemed to be aggressively making the switch to electric cars and away from internal combustion engined ones. And in the years that have followed, that's continued. Nissan has showcased a slew of different concept cars, showcasing everything from luxury Infiniti sedans through to two-seat sports cars. Yet, despite this, the only actual electric vehicles we've seen from Nissan have been revised and updated versions of the Leaf hatch, as well as various electrified versions of the Nissan NV200 minivan, the ENV200. Oh, and of course, there's been the rebadged Renault Twizy as found in certain mobility projects around the world, but it doesn't count because it's a rebadged Renault Twizy. The latest version of the Nissan Leaf, the 2019 Leaf E+, isn't really all that bad a vehicle. It's competent, it can charge at up to 100 kilowatts using a compatible quick charging station, and has an EPA approved range of either 364 kilometers for the Leaf SE Plus or 346 kilometers for the higher end SV and SL Leaf E Plus variants. And while some people are leery about going for Nissan's second generation Leaf because of the lack of active liquid cooling in its battery pack and the aforementioned problems that it had in the first generation car, Nissan seems to be holding its own in the electric car world. Nissan has been promising us a range of new electric models will launch over the next few years. And in China, where Nissan is working alongside local manufacturer Dongfeng, we've just seen the first of these in the form of the all-electric Dongfeng Rich 6 EV pickup truck. It's not a bad looker, although the performance specs, meh. Elsewhere in the world, however, there's been no new plugins from Nissan, and last week, Nissan announced in its latest earnings report that its profits have tumbled to an astonishing 94.5% of what they were last year. In response, the automaker has said that it's going to be cutting as many as 12,500 jobs globally, cut production by 10%, and slash its product portfolio by at least 10% in order to avoid things getting worse, all of which would happen by 2022. Which leaves us with the following question. What is next for Nissan and, more importantly, its electric vehicles? The reasons for Nissan getting to this point are wide and varied. Former CEO Carlos Ghosn had driven some pretty large expansion around the world, but following Ghosn's sudden departure amidst a corruption inquiry, Nissan has found life a lot tougher. Its alliance partner Renault, the two companies are mutual shareholders in one another, has been distancing itself from Nissan as much as possible of late, and Nissan has been struggling to sell its cars in North America, partly because of the vehicles it offers. You see, while other automakers are ditching hatchbacks and sedans in North America, Nissan has continued to offer them, offering them at heavy discounts to large rental companies and other large fleet operators to encourage sales. That, in turn, has affected the company's reputation with private buyers because, well, rental cars with hundreds of thousands of miles on them are not the best examples of a particular vehicle. Anyway, I digress. Nissan announcing all of these job cuts and slashing of its vehicle offerings might make you think that the Leaf and some of its other electric vehicles are also going to be put on the chopping block and that Nissan isn't interested in EVs anymore. Apparently, however, that is not the case, at least according to Nissan. Nissan is effectively following the same path that GM and other automakers have been making in recent years. It looks to turn its attention away from a wider portfolio in the short term and instead focus on models that it knows it can make money on. While I haven't seen exactly which models will stay and which ones will go, it's not too hard to guess. Expect sedans and hatchbacks to go in North America, but Nissan's SUVs and pickup trucks to survive alongside its crossovers. What other models though? Well, that will depend on the market. These slashes, say Nissan, will help it restructure itself to focus on electrifying its lineup and developing autonomous vehicle technology. Why? Well, like other automakers, Nissan sees the writing on the wall for the traditional automotive industry, and it knows that the future lies in autonomous technology, electrified vehicles, and mobility as a service. It's switch or die. Nissan has not said what vehicle we should expect next with an electric drivetrain, but as automakers around the world struggle with tightening emissions, regulations, and the market dominance of Tesla, it is the latest in a long line, but most certainly not the last, to realise that the status quo of past decades can't be the way of the future. Nissan's first generation Leaf was, for its time, a very good offering in the fledgling electric car world. These days, though, the competition is much, much higher, and the pressure is on for Nissan to roll out more electric models to avoid losing out on a growing market share. Sure, the Leaf is holding its own in many budget-conscious marketplaces, but in order for Nissan to weather this particular storm, it will need more than just one car in order to hold its own. The big question, the big unknown, what we can expect from it in the electric car world from a company that is doubling down on EVs. And what will it need to do to recapture some of the buzz, excuse the pun, of its early Leaf years? I don't know. Leave your thoughts below. That's it. Thanks for watching. Let us know if you liked it or didn't like it below. Scribble a comment, hit the notification bell, and if you'd like to help us make more of these videos, please do send $1 or $2 our way every month through Patreon, buy us a coffee through Ko-fi, or visit our merch store and buy some swag. I'll be back soon with another episode, but until then, keep evolving.